Welcome to the Cala Builders podcast.
Glad to be here for this one.
So I want you to think back over the high-end luxury kitchens you've stepped into or, seen online over the last decade.
Oh, I know exactly what you were going to say.
Right. Chances are they look remarkably like high-tech operating rooms. I mean, stark white cabinets, brilliant white quartz, zero clutter.
Completely sterile.
Exactly. Completely sterile. And honestly, a little terrifying to actually cook in. Like you're afraid to slice a tomato because a single drop of juice might permanently ruin the pristine aesthetic of the entire house.
Oh, for sure. You feel like you have to whisper in those kitchens.
Yeah, you really do. Well, today we are taking a deep dive into why that specific era of design is completely dead and what is rushing in to replace it in the immediate future of home design.
And the shift happening right now is dramatic. I mean, it is a huge pivot.
It really is. And to understand the mechanics of this shift, we are unpacking two highly connected sets of insights today. First, we have a really comprehensive look at the 2026 kitchen design trends, specifically for Los Angeles homes, which is a fantastic roadmap written by Shaheen Etarafi.
Which is a great breakdown.
It is. And second, to understand how these massive changes are actually engineered and built, we are looking at the operational model of Cala Builders. They are a premier design build general contractor in the LA area.
Which brings up a good point about why we are focusing on Los Angeles for this deep dive.
Right. Why should you, the listener, care if you live in, say, Ohio? Well, historically, Southern California is the canary in the coal mine for global home architecture.
Yeah, what gets designed and built there today is basically what you will be planning for your own home in a few short years, whether you live in a coastal city or, the snowy Midwest.
Exactly. So let's just jump into it. The overarching theme connecting all of this is that dramatic shift away from cold showroom-style aesthetics.
Right, we're moving aggressively toward environments that are highly functional, tactile, and deeply personalized. It's a complete psychological reversal in how people want their primary living spaces to feel.
So let's talk about the visual shock of that, because the most immediate change you'd notice walking into a 2026 remodel is the color palette.
And the physical texture of the room, yeah, the all-white, cold, minimalist void is just gone.
Replaced by this intense demand for warmth. Homeowners are calling for natural wood accents, entire islands clad in rich timber, and this massive resurgence of fluted lower cabinets.
Yes, the fluted cabinets are everywhere now.
Let's visualize those for a second because they fundamentally change the feeling of a room. Instead of a flat, glossy panel, fluted wood has continuous vertical grooves carved directly into the surface.
Right. It creates the beautiful 3D ribbed texture.
Yeah, and it catches the light, creating these subtle shadows throughout the day. And when you pair that tactile wood with a heavy organic stone countertop, suddenly the kitchen has a physical presence.
It feels grounded.
Grounded, exactly. It's not a museum exhibit anymore.
No, because people are exhausted by the anxiety of the pristine.
Mm-hmm.
They want a tactile experience that interior design has largely ignored for years.
Right.
Now, this doesn't mean white paint is illegal in a modern remodel, but the application has evolved into this two-tone kitchen strategy.
Okay, tell me how that works.
Well, you might retain lighter upper cabinets to keep the ceiling feeling tall and airy, but they are anchored by highly contrasting, much darker lower cabinets or a massive colored island.
Which makes sense. But wait, if we are tossing out the bright white spaces and bringing in heavy wood grains or dark navy, deep forest green, or even matte black for the lower half of the room,
Yeah.
doesn't that run the massive risk of making the kitchen feel like a dimly lit, claustrophobic pub? How do you introduce dark, heavy colors without shrinking the room?
It really comes down to visual weight and balance. Darker colors on the lower half of a room actually anchor the eye downward, and that, paradoxically, makes the lighter upper section feel more expansive. It is just a trick of spatial perception.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, and the lighter colors being used on top are no longer those icy cool grays that dominated the 2010s. Those cool grays are entirely gone.
Totally out.
Completely. They're being replaced by warm, earthy neutrals. So colors like putty, mushroom, and soft clay.
Putty and mushroom, right. So when you contrast a soft clay upper cabinet with a rich forest green base, the room doesn't feel dark, it just feels intentional.
Exactly. It gives the eye a natural resting place. It makes the kitchen feel like a comforting, genuine part of the home, rather than a sterile laboratory.
Which means designing a lived-in kitchen doesn't risk the space looking messy at all. It's a specific design strategy that makes warmth look really upscale.
That's the goal. Visually welcoming without being cluttered.
But that brings up a serious logistical problem. I mean, if the goal is a warm, visually welcoming space that showcases beautiful wood grains and heavy stone, how do you deal with the reality of modern life?
You mean the gadgets?
Yes, the gadgets. We all have air fryers, high-speed blenders, massive espresso machines. If you leave all that out on a dark green and wood counter, it is going to look incredibly cluttered.
Oh, it ruins the intentional aesthetic instantly.
So what are people doing?
Well, that exact friction is driving the biggest functional innovation we are seeing for 2026, which is the era of hyper-smart storage.
Hyper-smart storage.
Yeah, it is no longer about simply installing more cabinets. It's about engineering cabinets that actively manage your lifestyle. And the standout feature solving this problem is the appliance garage.
I find the mechanics of an appliance garage absolutely fascinating.
They are brilliant.
Because this isn't just a normal cabinet with a swinging door. These are dedicated counter-level zones equipped with sliding pocket doors. You pull the door, and it physically slides back into the cavity of the cabinet itself so it doesn't block your workflow at all.
Right, the door just vanishes.
And inside, you have your heavy stand mixer, your toaster, your coffee maker, all permanently plugged in and ready to use. And when you're done making breakfast, you simply slide the pocket door shut, and the entire mess disappears behind a beautiful sheet of natural wood.
Leaving the countertops 100% clear.
It's like a magic trick.
It really is. But doing that requires a profound level of hidden infrastructure. And looking at the projections for 2027, this trend is only accelerating. We are seeing demands for massive pull-out pantries, hidden charging stations engineered into drawers, and full walk-in butler's pantries.
Just to hide the messy prep work completely out of sight, it reminds me of the interior of a high-end luxury car.
Oh, that's a good analogy. How so?
Well, when you sit in a premium vehicle, the dashboard is just this sweeping expanse of beautiful wood or carbon fiber. But then you press a hidden panel, and it glides open to reveal cup holders, charging ports, screens. The kitchen is doing the exact same thing.
Working incredibly hard behind the scenes.
Right, so the main stage looks completely effortless. But let me push back on this for a second. Let's look at how people actually live. Are appliance garages just a passing fad for people who want an impossibly perfect Instagram kitchen?
No, I don't think so.
Or does this represent a permanent shift in how we manage the explosion of kitchen gadgets?
The data strongly suggests it is a permanent structural shift, and it's driven by a massive change in our daily habits. Over the last few years, our at-home wellness and culinary routines have just exploded.
Yeah, that makes sense. We all have more stuff now.
Exactly. A decade ago, maybe you had a basic drip coffee maker. Today, a homeowner might have a burr grinder, a semi-automatic espresso machine, a milk frother, a dedicated smoothie maker. The sheer footprint is enormous.
It takes up half the kitchen.
Right. And we rely on the daily functionality of these machines, but the visual noise they create is overwhelming. So hiding the function is what allows the new, warm aesthetics to truly shine without distraction.
Because you literally cannot appreciate a beautiful slab of quartzite if it is buried under a pile of tangled black cords.
Exactly.
So you push all the clutter into the walls, and the perimeters are completely clear. But this essentially creates a massive void in the center of the room, and that void has forced the kitchen island to evolve into something entirely new.
Yes. The island is no longer just extra prep space where you chop vegetables. For 2026, the kitchen island is the absolute focal point of the entire home.
And you can see that in how the budgets are shifting. Design budgets are heavily concentrated on the island first.
Without question. It dictates every other material finish in the room.
Yeah.
We are seeing contrasting colors, mixed materials, and those stunning waterfall countertops.
For anyone who hasn't seen this in person, a waterfall edge means the stone countertop doesn't just stop at the edge of the cabinet.
It's beautiful.
It really is. The stone cascades at a 90-degree angle all the way down to the floor on both sides, turning the island into what looks like a monolithic block of solid marble. And to ensure that massive centerpiece holds your attention, layered lighting has become a primary design feature all its own right.
Right, layered lighting is huge. LED strip lighting is now considered a standard feature, not a premium upcharge. We are talking about under cabinets, inside drawers, and along toe kicks.
The toe kick lighting is such a brilliant trick. By illuminating the floor right underneath the cabinets, it visually separates the heavy island from the ground. So a massive block of wood and stone looks like it is physically floating.
That's a great effect.
It's like a theater production. The island is the lead actor holding center stage, and the LED strips are the dynamic stage lighting that ensures the star looks good. But wait, if homeowners are blowing 50% of their budget on the island first, does the rest of the kitchen suffer?
You mean, does it look cheap by comparison?
Yeah, does a highly premium centerpiece actually elevate the simpler elements around it, or does it highlight the budget cuts?
It absolutely elevates the room. A strong focal point anchors the eye. And the standard inclusion of LED toe kicks and drawer lights proves that luxury is becoming democratized. Safety and ambiance are now baseline expectations.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so even if you use simpler materials on the perimeter, basing them in architectural lighting ensures the whole room benefits from the island's glow.
Which turns the island into the gravitational center of the house. People just naturally congregate there. Cooking has become this communal, entertaining event.
And that desire to entertain naturally bleeds into the biggest architectural shift of all,
Which is?
opening the kitchen up entirely to the outside world.
Yes. Seamless indoor-outdoor transitions are the #1 request for Southern California remodels, according to our sources. It is the defining characteristic of the California style.
And they achieve this by relying on massive glass pocket doors connecting the kitchen directly to the patio.
Right. They remove the interior walls, separating the kitchen from the living and dining spaces to support this massive open floor plan. And this philosophy is scaling across all budgets. Even modest budgets are adapting this by widening single doorways to the backyard.
The goal is just to connect the spaces seamlessly.
But let me ask you this. For a listener tuning in from, say, a climate where they deal with winter snow or heavy rain, a 15-foot open hole in the side of their house is completely impractical. Can the philosophy of the California flow still be applied to their home's interior, even if they can't have massive open patio doors year-round?
Absolutely. Because flow is really just a mindset. It is about removing visual barriers.
Okay, unpack that a little.
Well, even inside a snowed-in house, removing interior walls between the kitchen and the living room creates that exact same psychological feeling of expansiveness and connection. You might not have the breeze, but your eye can travel across the entire space.
The expansive feeling is still there, but actually executing that kind of expansive flow requires serious engineering. You can't just take a sledgehammer to a kitchen wall and hope for the best.
Oh, please do not do that.
Right. Removing walls or installing massive pocket doors requires structural headers, rerouted plumbing, complex electrical work for those appliance garages we talked about. You can't just hire a random handyman. You need a sophisticated infrastructure.
A master conductor, basically.
Right.
Which brings us perfectly to the ecosystem of Cala builders.
Exactly. Analyzing the company profile of Cala Builders provides a perfect case study of how these complex trends are successfully executed in the real world.
Because pulling this off is not easy.
No, it's not. So Cala Builders operates as a full-service design-build general contractor in Los Angeles, working under license number 1156496, and they handle the entire life cycle of a build under one roof.
From the very beginning to the very end.
Right, from the 3D architectural rendering and plans to permitting, framing, electrical plumbing, and those final luxury finishes. They build custom luxury homes, detached and attached ADUs, full home remodels, and even outdoor spaces like pools.
And their service area is huge. They cover LA County, so places like Woodland Hills, Calabasas, Sherman Oaks, Pasadena, and West LA.
What stands out to me is their team structure. The author of the Trends article we've been discussing, Shaheen Adarafi, is actually their lead project manager.
Which means these trends are coming from someone actively managing the sites.
Right. The team also includes owner Mehdi Ebadat, who has deep industry experience, senior lead designer Argavan Ebadat, and this is key in-house licensed professionals. They have Aaliyah handling electrical and Meridad Mogharabi on plumbing.
Having all those disciplines in-house is critical. It is like a symphony orchestra that has its own in-house composer and conductor.
That is a great analogy. Everything is harmonized from day one. But why is this specific under-one-roof design-build approach so critical when trying to execute something like an appliance garage or a massive indoor-outdoor pocket door?
Because it prevents the classic renovation nightmare of miscommunication between independent contractors. Yeah, if the architect, the framer, the electrician, and the plumber are all independent companies, they often clash. The beautiful 3D rendering drawn by the designer might not actually be functionally possible once the framer starts opening walls.
Right. The electrician says they can't put an outlet where the appliance garage is supposed to go.
Exactly. But keeping it all under one umbrella ensures that everyone is on the same page from day one. It guarantees that the stunning rendering actually matches the final functional reality without costly delays.
It makes a massive difference. So, looking at everything we've covered today, how would you summarize this for the listener?
I would say the core takeaway is that 2026 is all about rejecting the cold and sterile. It is about embracing warm woods, hiding your tech so you can enjoy your space, spotlighting the island, and opening up your walls to let life flow seamlessly through the home.
It's a really exciting evolution, but it does leave me with a final thought to mull over, building on all this source material.
Okay, let's hear it.
If our kitchens are now featuring warm woods that look like furniture, hidden appliances, soft layered lighting, and zero walls separating them from the living room or patio, will the kitchen, as a distinct, separate room, eventually cease to exist entirely in modern architecture? I mean, are we just rapidly building one giant, beautiful living space that simply happens to have a stove hidden in it?
The complete dissolution of the kitchen as a room. That is a fascinating thought.
Definitely something for you to think about the next time you're standing at your own counter. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. No matter where you live, you can start bringing a little bit of that warm, thoughtful California style into your own space today.